Hey everybody, I'm James Michael.
I'm DJ Ashba.
We are 6 a.m. and we are going to be taking questions for 6 Cents Ask
Anything.
Ask Anything?
Ask Anything.
Ask
Yeah.
Anything. Is there a hashtag before that?
Probably.
All right, well.
There usually is.
All right. Put a hashtag in there if you got it. Oh, they're already coming up here. Look at this.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see. Steph from Kingwood says, how did the concept of 6 a.m. come about?
God. Well, kind of accident, really, right?
Yeah, we kind of backed into it because Nikki. Well, first off, we had all known each other in the music business for quite a while. DJ and I had worked on records together. DJ and Nikki had worked on records together. He and I had worked on records together. So we were all friends. But what happened is Nikki discovered his diaries in one of his storage spaces, and they were the diaries that he had taken during his rise to fame, and they were just incredible, really compelling diaries. And so what the three of us decided to do was create basically a soundtrack to that, and that was the starting point for 6 a.m.
Yeah.
When you guys called me, you had already dug in and started kind of doing this score.
Right.
And I remember coming out to Funny Farm, the studio that DJ and Nikki had together, and they had all this just incredible, really elaborate music scoring stuff. It was like a movie score.
Yeah.
So we all talked about doing it.
Originally, that's what it was. It was never about a band or anything. It was just, Nikki would come in and paint a picture in my head, and all these diaries, and we had them, and basically just scoring to a movie that he painted in our heads a bit, and then James sent over, I think, Dead Man's Ballet,
yeah,
which we became that.
Yeah,
because we had been looking for a singer for this album we wanted to kind of put out, I guess.
It wasn't going to be a band at all. In fact, the name 6 a.m. didn't come along until way later. We had no intention. But that's a good question. We get asked that a lot, and it's always kind of fun to think back as to how this did come about, because it was very organic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like three guys going, let's start a band. We got to find the right musicians. And
in fact, Life is Beautiful hit #1 before we even knew it, and Alan was calling us, going, "We need a band name.
We got to shoot a video.
Yeah.
So we kind of backed into it, but it was really cool. That's a great question, Steph. Let's see, Glenda from Michigan. How did the three of you come up with Modern Vintage?
I don't know, but I used to go to Ludington.
Did you?
On vacation in Michigan every
What
year.
were you doing there?
Because it was the closest place where there's water, like an ocean, but it wasn't an ocean. I thought it was.
I was born in Holland, Michigan.
I grew up going to Ludington to like Wolf's Creek and
that's cool.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Well, Modern Vintage it's our third studio album, and it was a real exciting transition for 6 a.m. Because on the first record, the Heroin Diaries soundtrack, obviously, like we've been talking about a lot, we had Nikki's diaries to be inspired by and kind of write for. And then with This Is Gonna Hurt, there was another book. It was a book of Nikki's photography. He had captured these incredible images, which really sparked this a conversation and a concept of what the This Is Gonna Hurt album became, which was really dealing with how people judge one another. But on this one, we intentionally did not want to have a book or photographs to deal with. So what it forced us to do was kind of look at ourselves and discover who we've become as a band after 3 records.
And what inspired us to do this for a living, get into music in the first place.
Right, so what we did is we looked back at all those amazing rock records that we grew up with, bands like ELO and Elton John and David Bowie and Queen, and just great rock records from the 60s and 70s.
Wait, that wasn't one?
Well, that was one, but that came later. And that became the inspiration for this record. And it was very exciting for us, because with this record, it really does not only reveal to our fans who we've become as a band, but it revealed to us who we've become as a band and what we love about music. So Modern Vintage is a real celebration of what got us all into music in the first place.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you.
Glenda.
Nice one, Glenda.
Do you guys need anything? Cup of coffee? Anything? Can we get you something?
Burgessville. Is this Burgessville? Michelle from Burgessville or Bergsville? It's got to be Burgessville. Burgessville.
We're going to go to Burgessville.
Asks, how is Modern Vintage different from anything you've done in the past? Well,
It's modern.
and it's vintage. That's kind of the same answer as the last one. What differentiates this record is, well, a number of things. I think that we've all grown as musicians.
Well, we've all pushed ourselves so incredibly hard from album to album, but more so, I think, on this album.
I agree.
Album. And we really have stepped out of our comfort zone more than ever, and kind of tapped into different genres we've never written songs around, and got inspired by different things. So I think that in itself made this album a much bigger journey.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and like we said, it's not attached to a book or any type of peripheral thing. So it really is what we have become. It celebrates a sound that we've kind of created based on our influences. Sure. And another thing about it that I think is different, is just an exciting thing, and hopefully this happens in any band's career, is the musicianship has gotten so much stronger. I mean, it's been so amazing to watch a transition from, you've always been one of my favorite guitar players, but
you've been my favorite singer.
Well, thank you. But after you joined Guns N' Roses and have just toured the world a million times in that band, it's been so fun for me to watch these new styles of guitar playing come in, and it's just opened up all sorts of possibilities for us. So to me, that's played a huge part in how we were able to explore new territory on this record.
And with James, although I'll act like he's not here, it's great for me as a songwriter to, the sky's the limit. It's really great. I've worked with different people where their range kind of ends at a certain spot, but he can sing literally anything, and not only sing it, but deliver the message that will leave you with goosebumps. He sells the story in such an incredible way. So as a songwriter, we're obviously both songwriters, but coming from my point of view, to be able to paint on a canvas that has every color in the rainbow, you can literally write in any key you can think of, and not only can he sing it, he can sing it in 4 to 5 different octaves. So it's really cool.
But what sucks about that, and it's the same way for both of us, is that then when we have to play it live, we're both like, why the heck did we go that far?
Right.
But
it's kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Maybe next album is just chill with it. We might have to play this live.
Right, let's just do a bunch of mid-tempos that never really go up above.
Let's not do sweeping arpeggios at fucking 180.
Exactly.
Whatever.
That was Michelle from, I don't think we've established.
Burgessville,
okay. Melissa from Waldorf. Why do you think the three of you mesh so well together? Because we're just such great friends.
Yeah, and our names sound good together. 6 a.m. Sounds great.
That's the neat thing about 6 a.m. is that, like I said earlier, it wasn't like we put an ad out in the paper and we're trying to start a band. This happened so organically, and it truly has been three friends that love hanging out, that just decided to take advantage of the fact we all happen to make music and do it together. And 6 a.m. music has just become a byproduct of this fantastic friendship that we've forged.
And it's respect. We all three are successful in our own right, and we all three have so much respect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right?
I don't, but yeah,
okay,
you guys do.
Okay. Well, yeah. Nikki's not here, so we can really...
Why are we bashing on him?
Let's be honest. Hold on. 1 second.
There we go.
There, now we got him.
There we go.
Okay.
So, Nikki, tell us about how much you respect this.
I love you guys so much.
You guys are the best.
You guys are amazing.
All right. Good question, Melissa. Travis from... you got to start saying these names.
Travis from Roanoke.
Roanoke.
That's
okay.
Roanoke, Virginia, I believe, right?
To the band, to us, what was it like meeting Nikki for the first time?
Horrible. Kind of like a cardboard cutout.
Let's see.
No, amazing. Well, for me personally, it wasn't good because I met him at Randy Castillo's funeral. So it was not the greatest circumstances, but I had, then later on met him and hung out. It was very cool. Everything you could have imagined meeting one of your, a guy you kind of like.
I've always thought that was very poetic that you guys met at a funeral. I've always loved that story because it really plays into, it plays into that kind of the darkness and the beauty that 6 a.m. really is all about. I mean, how really beautiful things can come out of very tragic things.
Sure.
And that is, I think that speaks to, I think the way that you and he met speaks to the core of what 6 a.m. is.
I had just finished doing a record with Randy, and he passed away like shortly after that, and it was pretty devastating. But obviously, Nikki knew Randy very well for many years, and maybe it was Randy Randy kind of brought us together.
Yeah, you know,
in a weird way.
I was writing with Nikki around that same time for the new Tattoo record,
Sure.
which Randy played drums on that record.
That was
So that was all kind of in that same period of time. So
thank you, Randy.
Yeah, no kidding. What a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And I met Nikki. I had signed a solo record deal at Beyond Records, which Nikki and Motley Crue were in partnership with. So we all kind of met around that same time,
Yeah.
and we'd bump into each other, you know, in the halls of the label or whatever. But again, it really just the friendship, all of our friendship.
How we met.
We met on.
Was it 10th Street that would send me to you?
You know, I'm trying to think.
Too.
I remember the first time I met you. I was you were in I think you were in Cello Recording Studio. You were recording with Josh Freese and I think Nikki. You guys were tracking something, and I came in just to hang out with Nikki. And
I was working.
Oh,
on
dude,
Motley
this was
Crue
killer.
record when
That's
we
right.
walked in.
That's right. You were tracking the Motley Crue record, Red, White, and Crew, and I remember walking into the studio. Bob Rock was producing, and first I said hello to Bob, and then I heard this crazy sounding guitar thing coming from the live room, and I look out there, and there you were standing out there. It was just you, Josh Freese, and Nikki. I think you were I don't know what you were doing at the time, what you were recording, and you were pounding on the guitar with a drumstick. And I thought, well, that is the coolest, not only the coolest sound.
That.
I know you do.
Yeah.
It's not only the coolest sound, but it just looks so badass. And that was the first time I met.
Like a Neanderthal, like a caveman on guitar.
Yeah, it was cool. So that's how we all kind of came together. Sydney from Fall River. If you each could describe your life in one word, what would it be?
I don't know, but what a great horror name, Sydney from Fall River. And that just sounds like a scary movie I want to see. No, anyway. Okay, what was the question?
What word?
Describe your life in one word, what would it be?
Huh. Well,
describe your life.
Well, look what the cat just dragged in.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Sydney, we're going to get back to you on this, but there's we have a special guest that showed up. He's only passing through.
Hey, we had you. We brought you in.
Oh my God! I brought you guys coffee and well, this is like vodka and orange juice.
Perfect.
You didn't bring us coffee.
Hold on, let's get him in here.
No.
All right, here.
Pull you in.
Man, we were holding down the fort without you, buddy.
We got to widen out the camera lens.
Well, what's that mean?
Yeah. Wide angle lens, please.
Okay. For the hair.
How are you, bud?
I'm all right.
We brought you in with the cardboard.
Yeah, I feel like
we are just talking with Sydney from Fall River. She asked us. This is perfect because we were a little bit stumped on this one. So we're going to throw to you on
this. You could each describe your life in one word. What would it be? Do you want me to describe your life or my life?
Yeah, describe mine first.
Your life. Oh, God. Busy.
Yours has got to be busy.
Okay, mine might be slightly busier, but your, let me see.
How about this? Busy, busier, busiest.
I like that.
All right, there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. Sarah from Mannheim. I love Mannheim. I'm assuming this is Mannheim, Germany. Love that town. If you went on tour, what bands could you imagine as supporting acts?
There are so many bands that we want to tour with.
Probably.
We really
that would open up for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Guns.
Yeah,
that'd be a good bill.
Nope.
I think that's the cool thing about us, and because it's so hard to define what our style or our genre is.
Yeah.
There are so many different bands or artists, not only in the rock world, in the pop world, whatever it may be, that we could very comfortably fit on a bill with.
I feel we could have Muse would be great. I mean, as far as supporting, or whether we're supporting or they're supporting us, I mean, just to be able to play with so many great bands right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of great new rock out there, you know, and a lot of the, you know, like the old school, like, you know, the heavy metal fans feel like, you know, maybe there's not a lot for them out there, but there's a lot of new bands coming out, and we're excited about that, and a lot of bands that are like crossing genres and stuff. It's an exciting time in music. You have to look for it though.
It really is. I mean, you hear a lot of people talking about how grim it is out there in the music business, and yet I think it is one of the most exciting times, because now you've got young kids that have access to recording equipment stuff because it can all be done on your laptop that you never would have had back when we were starting. You know, we would have those 4-track tape recorders and you'd record 4 tracks, bounce them over and do this stuff. And now there's so much at their fingertips to create. So it's very exciting, and I'm excited about what new music we're going to hear in the next 10 years and what these kids are going to come up with, and you know, how they're going to take things that influence them and regurgitate it, basically, and kind of rework it.
And music's always been about taking influences from all different genres. You know, if you look at David Bowie, for example, you can hear R&B, you can hear pop, you can hear folk, you can hear what people would call rock with things like Rebel Rebel. And,
absolutely.
Diamond Dogs. So I think for us as artists, that's what we do, and I think that a lot of bands in the future are going to be doing that. They're going to be able to look at a Black Sabbath at the same time they're going to be able to look at something maybe you would not even expect right now and mesh them together and come up with something, again, fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. So
I was going to say Lady Gaga, but I don't know about Black Sabbath and Baby Gaga?
Baby Gaga?
Baby Gaga.
I heard something on the news this morning. On the way in, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about how Lady Gaga is now going to, I guess, become androgynous. She no longer wants to be referred to as a female or a male. She's kind of trying to eliminate that from her image.
Well, years ago about her.
We all established that a long time ago.
What happens when she pulls her pants down? Is there a question mark down there? Is she going to shave a question mark into it?
It's just like a baby doll. Like nothing.
Nothing. Doesn't go in, it doesn't go out. Sorry.
Oh, man.
I know I'm doing the wrong thing as I do it.
All right,
are we back on?
Yep.
All right,
Look
Michael.
at that little thing.
What is it?
Oh, it's an old phone.
Do you have the new one?
No.
Okay, Michael from Westfield. Will you guys be going on tour soon?
Man, we've been talking about touring since the beginning, right?
Dreaming about it.
Well, when we started the band, we didn't want to tour. We didn't want to be a band.
Right.
We just wanted to make music.
Right.
And then that Crew Fest thing happened when Life is Beautiful went #1. And that's when
that was fun.
That's when it happened.
Yeah.
Remember being in a tour bus, us going, hey, this is it.
We're like, God, one day when we get a headline, we're going to do this, and this.
Yeah.
We're going to make it theatrical and big and huge. And
It's always,
our brains
even
went
when we're
nuts.
making records, it's kind of been in our minds how this would translate visually and dramatically and theatrically. It's always been something I think we've all dreamed about.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing Christmas in Hell off the first record, DJ's like, oh, we could do this and the show and, all
one
that.
day I still want to
He's
do
always
that.
wanted to have
Killing
a
me.
Christmas tree on stage and light it on fire.
Lights on fire with a little girl standing there watching.
The hard part is when we're on tour all the time trying to find a little girl every night.
Or a Christmas tree in June.
Yeah, that could be hard too.
true.
But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Have we skirted that answer?
I'm not wearing
we
the
did,
dress.
Did we successfully
I'm not doing
answer
it.
that without answering it?
I'm the little
Good.
guy in the
Yeah, we're not going to answer
Okay.
that question. You'll find out soon enough.
Andrew from West Covina says, if 6 a.m. were to cover one Motley Crue song, which would it be? I bet it's different for every one of us.
Well, we already did.
Well, we did, and I'll tell you which one I would do. I would do Home Sweet Home,
Okay.
for sure.
Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah.
How it happened?
Well, yeah. One of our fans, Julie Palmer,
Yep.
wonderful woman, met her on Crew Fest,
Yep.
mother of 5 children, just an incredible spirit, incredible human being. We all befriended her, and she was suffering from cancer.
Yeah. Stayed in our life the whole time.
Stayed in our lives the entire time, was an incredible fan, but became an incredible friend. And she asked me if, she knew that she was dying, and she asked me if I would sing at her funeral. And I said, well, I will, as long as you promise me that's a long, long, long time from now. And she said, I want you to sing Home Sweet Home. Well, sadly, she passed away last year, and so I recorded just a piano vocal version of it. And it was such a powerful moment for me, and I remember sending it to you, and you kind of had that same reaction. We all shared such a sadness for her loss that we decided that at some point we will record that. So we actually we do have a recorded version of that,
Yeah.
and it was really amazing to hear that song with this whole new kind of emotional thing attached to it. So that would be mine.
I do want to kind of make something very clear. I was doing an interview recently in Japan, and the first question they said was, well, Motley Crue's coming to an end, and, we're sad. We're very excited about 6 a.m., but the good news is that when 6 a.m. tours, we're going to get Motley Crue music too. And I had to clarify, as I'm going to do right now, that's not our intention. Our intention is not to play Motley Crue music, Guns N' Roses music, anybody's music other than our own, or if we choose to maybe do a unique cover like we did with Drive. But we really want to stand on our own. We're proud of 6 a.m. and I don't think that's a respectful thing to do, is to go out and, can we end our 6 a.m. set and come out with 5 Motley Crue songs for the encore?
Right.
It's not a good look.
It would kick ass.
It would be fun, but we want to stand on our own.
Yep, I agree.
We want to stand on our own.
All right.
Excited to get out there.
Dina from Appleton, what's your favorite song to play live?
Oh, man.
It's changed. Mine is now
Yeah.
Let's Go.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played it live yet, but
Yeah.
getting in rehearsal, that thing is awesome.
How about you?
I feel the same about Let's Go, but Stars. What a
is great,
great
too.
song. But you know what? Really, I forgot how great it was. Is This Is Gonna Hurt.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
It's so tight.
I've got a different one.
What?
Lies of the Beautiful People is the funnest song to sing.
Really?
Nice.
I can't even believe it, because I thought it would be one of the hardest ones. But there's just it's so infectious. As soon as that groove starts, I'm just like, oh my God, I love this song.
Yeah.
So that's cool that all three of us have different ones.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play live.
Man, oh man.
To be honest, the way we're doing Before It's Over right now,
Yeah.
it's a whole different
Yeah.
version than what you're going to hear on the record, but that is awesome.
Speaking of which, we got to get into the studio. I know you leave soon, but we got to get into the studio. We already tracked drums on it. Got to get you in there
Take
to
20
record
minutes.
that solo. It would literally take no time at all. Maybe I'll come out to your house and we'll just track that.
Yeah, we'll just cut it real fast. Just a really cool
All right.
section.
We got to get that. It's just awesome.
Okay, that was Dina from Appleton. Thank you, Dina. Barbara from Andover. What inspired Got to Get It Right?
Well, the album was done, so we thought. A lot of times when you think something's done, when you're creating, that's when the freedom comes to just, maybe try one more idea. And our manager, Alan Kovac, had called me and said, you guys, I love the album. He goes, just something with kind of a 70s stomp, like super simple. And James was at my house. We were going to cut some bass that night. And I came in and I told him, and I talked to DJ on the phone, and we were like, Alan suggested we just do this kind of a simple 70s sounding Queen-esque pop-driven song. Those are the hardest kind of songs to write.
Absolutely.
Like just a simple song.
Right.
It's the hardest song to write because everything relies now upon the melody,
Yeah.
the lyrics, the guitars and the bass we're just playing 3 chords.
But you know what? That one flowed so quickly, and here's why I think it was, because we already had the record in the can. We
Yes.
already knew what this record was, so Gotta Get It Right kind of became our reaction to the whole record.
Yeah.
And that's why when you listen to it, it's got all of those elements. It's got those ELO harmonies. It's got those really hooky, Bowie type of guitar moments, and it's to me it's really encompasses everything that modern vintage the record was.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
it is everything, yet it is different. And I think that's part of the reason why we decided to release it as the first single, to be like a little bit of a shock to the system for everybody. Like, wow, what's this? This is, you can either love it or hate it, but you felt something, and then you start digging into the rest of the songs, and you go, okay, now I get this song.
Yeah.
I get the album. I get the whole thing.
yeah, for sure. That was Barbara from Andover. We have Trish from Pottsville. When is your merchandise coming out for sale? Well,
Trish, we're going to be selling pot-infused merchandise only in Pottsville. That was like a really bad joke, wasn't it?
It was a good joke, man.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was a good joke. We have some out now.
Yeah, we just put together the bundles.
Yeah. I
And
just saw it in the next room.
right now, we can go right in the
It's
next
over
room.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to check it out.
Well, we have to buy it.
Of course.
That's why I'm not wearing one.
Right.
Cash
They
register.
wouldn't give it to me, so I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah, I have no credit with the label right now.
neither do I.
We're excited about creating a really cool line of merch, and not just black T-shirts with the band on it. I mean, that's great stuff too. We love that kind of stuff, and we just put together something to get things started right now, and we're doing some cool stuff with some bundling with Best Buy and the merch store up at 6 a.m. Music. You can go there and you can get like cool stuff like record players, and we're going to be releasing stuff on vinyl, and we got a 7-inch vinyl single of Gotta Get It Right with Life is Beautiful on the other side. So we're just really getting started with that. But like with the live shows, with the music, how like Before It's Over and other songs, are creating new stuff out of what we already have in the merchandise. I think this is going to be a really fruitful and exciting time for us.
I'm excited too because you guys both have such a great eye for the clothing and the merch type of stuff. And I loved even back when we did Crew Fest, we had some really neat
Yeah, we had some
things.
cool
So
stuff.
I'm looking forward to what we
I
come
don't know
up
if
with.
you'd say we have like really great style and clothing. I mean, look what we wore today.
Well,
Look like I'm at church.
DJ just got back from court.
no kidding.
I
You
won.
look like a lawyer.
I won.
He's a lawyer. Yeah, actually, this is our band lawyer.
Right.
Yeah. Nice. What's up?
Melissa from Oxford. How old were you when you first started playing music? Ooh, good question. Man,
How
oh,
old
man.
were you when I 3? My mom had me on the
I
piano.
hate that. I can't beat that.
Like bang. I mean,
He's lying.
You're
You're
lying.
lying.
You were
She
not
had me-
3.
She had me on her lap, banging on the piano when I was 3. I did my first recital. I played Ode to Joy in front of a church audience.
At 3 years?
5 years
At
old.
5 years
I
old.
played Ode to Joy.
Wow,
Swear
I'm
to God.
impressed, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I,
was
didn't
probably-
get any better since.
I was probably 5 when I started. Like I started playing drums, and then probably like 6 or 7 when I started playing piano. I don't think I did my first recital. I played Flight of the Bumblebee for my first recital.
That's way cooler than Ode to Joy.
Well, but I was like probably 12 or something then. I was older. I
I'd
remember-
already gave up piano by 12.
How about you?
Your poor parents. You started on drums. It's like,
Oh, I know. Oh, it's a great story actually.
no parent wants their kid to go, Mom, Dad, I want to play drums. They're like, oh,
Well, this
you pick another instrument.
This is where it started. My parents were so supportive, so I said, I really want drums, but I asked Santa Claus for them. I didn't ask my parents because Christmas was coming. I asked Santa Claus. Well, it was the night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas.
Yeah, I like that story.
and I was
like how this is
I was
starting now.
I was totally asleep, and my dad, bless his heart, who was playing the role of Santa Claus at the time, goes out to his studio, and he had this drum kit that he got for Christmas, and as he's walking in the house, he trips, and he's carrying this cymbal and this snare, and he trips and falls, and all I hear him go, fuck! and then crash, boom, and there's like snares and cymbals and stuff. Bless his heart. The whole cover was, not only was the secret of the drum kit, Santa Claus's cover was blown.
I don't care about Santa Claus. I got my drums.
Exactly. So that was, that was the beginning of it.
I started right around 11, 12. I was in Seattle, and I first started just falling in love with music and writing lyrics. That was my main thing. I was writing, short stories and kind of writing melodies, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So I actually started with words before I found an instrument that was in the house and kind of started playing it. So that's kind of how
Did
I
it start
started.
out like, where the fuck's my instrument?
So, if I only had... Oh, my
Well,
God.
anyway,
Okay,
thank you
this has been
so
fun.
much for submitting your questions for Ask Anything. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a piece of paper we're supposed to read something.
I started and then I was
Our
like,
guy
okay.
put it down.
Okay.
Good,
This
thanks.
is where 6 a.m. says goodbye.
Yeah.
And the 6 a.m. listeners for their support to buy Modern Vintage. Go buy Modern Vintage. We love this record. We are so excited to share it with you. Please go out and get the deluxe version if you can.
Buy one for your friend.
Yes.
Yeah. And support new music. That's what we
Hey,
do.
and thank you for showing up, Nikki.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. You know, a little late, but
late.
fashionably late.
Fashionably
Maybe not.
late.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
no.